All right, you need to hush. Go on. All right, well, we've got everybody here. It is 1 o'clock, so let's go ahead and get started. So welcome to everybody who is logged in to watch this panel. It's going to be a great one, I am sure. I'm Liz Inslee. I'm an assistant history professor here at Weatherford College. And let me introduce you to your lovely panel that we've got. We have lovely Lee Butler, Director of Institutional Research. We have Professor Shelley Hampe, who is a professor of chemistry. Ryan Dickerson, Student Life Coordinator and Academic Advisor, and Counselor in the Office of Student Services. We have Dr. William Smith, who's a professor of English. Michelle Burt, who is a professor of mathematics. And Shantee Siebuhr, who is our guided pathway specialist. Welcome, everybody.
Hello. Thank you for having us. Are we ready to get started?
We're ready. Let's do it.
Do this. So Weatherford College recently founded its first honors program. So what you'll hear from the faculty and staff on this panel is that process and how the pilot courses went this past semester. So let's get started. What does an honors program offer a community college? Who wants to tackle that one first?
This is a panel and it's not a class.
Okay, me. I think one thing that it offers our college is an opportunity to diversify what we offer for students in the community. I really feel like our mission is serving the community. So the more we can offer, I feel the better off our community is.
I think building on what Shelley said, I think it offers a different experience for students that we haven't had before, that they can take classes that challenge them in a different way, and go through kind of a conceptual program that offers something that kind of ties it all together from beginning to end, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
Well, and I think also it asks faculty to sort of examine the way they've taught the class and find different ways to engage for this type of student or for this type of environment. And that's always good because it makes faculty examine what they're doing.
I agree, and building on that, it's always good to confront your boundaries and take a look at what you take for granted and say, why am I doing this? Can I go further? Can I push those boundaries, test those limits? Because no one ever learned anything by success. They learned by failure. And we can create a safe boundary condition where students can engage in materials that they may never have engaged in ways they've never known they could. They can risk and fail, and we're there to catch them, show them what the issues were, and help them grow beyond that.
I think sometimes there's a stigma on community colleges that we're just an extension of high school. And I think having an honors program kind of shows that, there's higher standards and it's going to prepare you, beyond what that stigma, that perception may be. And so I think for a recruiting piece, pulling in higher academic achievers, I think it will benefit, the college as a whole.
Absolutely. I liked your comment, Lee, about a safe space to fail, a safe space to really stretch out and see in what other environments you can learn. I like that. Ryan, you touched a little on the community college just being an extension of high school. So can anyone speak to the differences that an honors program offers at a community college versus what they would get at a university, what those differences might be, or the similarities that we can offer here at the community college level?
Well, I mean, I think first of all, because we're talking about underclassmen, we're talking about freshman and sophomore level classes. I think a lot of times we think of upper division classes as where you really do the sort of deep dive, into more specific parts of your discipline. And so I think that this, by focusing on that kind of approach at the freshman and sophomore level, I think it offers sort of a different way of thinking about the progression of classes and the curriculum. I'd also say, though, I think there's the potential for attention in community college honors programs, because the community college mission is all about open access and reaching out to the largest number of people and providing a sort of equity for students who maybe would not have the opportunity for equity in some other university environments. And so I think that one of the things I've tried to think about is ways to construct this program that doesn't sacrifice that part of our mission. I don't think of the honors program as being for a certain kind of student. Really, I think it's a certain kind of experience for any of our students who are interested in that experience and can demonstrate that they are able to, meet that challenge.
And I think, some of our students may want this experience, but they've never had the opportunity or felt safe enough to do so. So that's why I think as a community college, we can provide a unique environment for them to engage the material at a deeper level without fear of, having to go home because they flunked out of college or whatever, because we can help them get it.
Okay, thank you very much. What are the different approaches to the structure of the honors program? So when you guys were in discussion about how you wanted to structure the honors college, the honors program as a whole, what different approaches did you guys discuss?
I know from experience at other community colleges that they do primarily contracts. And I think we wanted to kind of build a community here and include courses. So that way there's groups of larger groups of students kind of traversing through this program together rather than individual contracts. And so that was one aspect that I enjoyed about what we have done so far.
Can you elaborate a little bit more for those who might not know what an honors contract is?
So an honors contract is where a student enters in a contract with an instructor. They're taking a regular course, and the honors contract tries to add that extra oomph into the course so that they can get an honors designation for that course, while everyone else in the class would have just received the regular credit for the course. An honors course would mean everyone who's in the course receives that honors credit if they pass the class.
Gotcha. And currently we offer honors courses, but contracts will be something discussed further? Yes.
I think in the future, since we're kind of in our fledgling stage here, that I think it'll be a good opportunity for students who want to just take, maybe an honors organic chemistry contract or some of those more, like, I know that in the student course or the student panel this morning, Maya brought up like Texas government. And so that while that's not a course we currently offer, that could be an excellent choice for a contract in the future. So some of those higher level courses that not generally everyone might take.
Right.
I do think, I think we're going to have a lot of discussions about how an honors contract fits into the philosophy, because while it does allow for some flexibility for students and for students to get, especially because we obviously community college students often have other outside obligations, which make scheduling classes more challenging than it would be at a residential college. I think that's all good, but it does raise this question of, is it, what makes the honors program is that the class is somehow different, the experience is somehow different, does a contract really replicate that experience, or is it just at that point extra work for the
Right.
student? And again, I'm not trying to denigrate that as an option, but I think it raises questions about what we're trying to do and how the students are benefiting from those two different environments.
Well, and I think that in the student panel, they brought up something that I never considered, which was that since they're being elevated in these honors courses, they are bringing that elevation to their other courses as well. And so I think that that's something that, while an honors contract rate may look like just extra work, I think that they can and seems like are bringing that experience of elevation and discussion into their other courses that raises the level of the class, not just for them, but for their, fellow students and the instructor.
I think another thing that the contract system can also benefit from is a common seminar, common reading that all of the members who are participating partake of, and that provides that community experience that you would get from being in a class, so that classroom experience, you may be in a contract class, but you've got this seminar environment that you're going to go to engage with other students who are doing the same thing you're doing. So it's a possibility to help bridge the gap between an exclusively honors contract program and a program of courses that everyone in the class is on the same wavelength.
Well, and I think another thing that came up in the student panel this morning, which I thought their perspective was fascinating.
I'm glad they went first.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Absolutely. And I think they gave us a lot to think about, because one of the things that they pretty much across the board said was they want as many honors classes as possible, which raises this other question of the structure of the program. And we have talked about this quite a bit, because this semester, in this sort of pilot semester, we allowed anybody who wants to take the class to sign up for an honors class. An honors program's a little different, because you're applying for admission to the program, and then only students in that program are taking honors classes. And that's going to limit how many classes we can offer. And I'm not saying that the students have asked us to abandon our structure, but I do think it's something we have to think about going forward. Is there a benefit to allowing students who aren't in the program to still benefit from the honors classes if they are interested in challenging themselves and having that experience? And so that's another kind of structural question that we have going forward.
And I think the answer is absolutely yes.
Yeah, but it's the devil's in the details, right? It's got to figure out how does that work. If we're making students apply for the program and then other students get to take the classes without having to apply, then there's other questions of equity involved there as well. But I do think that it goes back to what I was saying earlier. Community colleges have a very democratic mission, and I think that we do owe it to our students to think about how we can make the honors experience as accessible to as many people as possible.
Yeah, and I don't think we should overlook the benefit that someone in the class who doesn't know all the answers to the questions can be an aid in other people learning and extending beyond what they already know. Sometimes too much knowledge, you get complacent.
Yeah. Someone in addition to the instructor who doesn't know all the answers to the questions, because I always meet that characterization.
I shatter the illusion of perfection daily in my class.
That's fantastic. So we're getting to what I like to call the meat and potatoes question. It's the big question that I think a lot of students and faculty and staff are interested in knowing. William, you briefly touched on the illusion that an honors class could be extra work or seem like extra work. Michelle, you touched on making sure that these courses are elevated to fit the need of an honors student. So what makes an honors class an honors class? What different approaches are instructors taking to make that class honors? And you can absolutely relate that to your honors course if you're teaching one this semester.
Well, I'll start because as an instructor of math, Mathland is different. It depends on course to course, and depends on, you know, algebra versus non-algebra based, the perspective of the course that we can take this semester. I apologize if I sound like a growly old man. My allergies have gotten to the best of me today. But I'm teaching statistics this semester, and while it's only elementary statistics, what I've tried to do is kind of first and foremost put it in, you know, real life perspective. I made them go out and research a topic that they were interested in. Once they selected a topic, they either created a survey or used data that was already readily available. They went out and gave their survey to whoever they wanted to, or again, they used the data that was already out there, and they had to analyze the data. They had to use Excel primarily to create charts and graphs, and then they're kind of summarize it all and present it to the class in a professional manner. So to me, it really gave them a, you know, unique perspective on what that one number in an article really represents as hours and hours and possibly years of work to present this information to, you know, prove a point or disprove a point, or, you know, sometimes nothing conclusive can be drawn from this survey, but just to see behind the scenes exactly what goes into a lot of the work that they see that they again take for granted, and really apply some of the information that they knew. And so that for me was important, and they did it on something they were interested about. So at Mathland, that's one perspective, and I think you can do a kind of research project in a lot of courses, but in say college algebra, they just don't know enough to really do a comprehensive project. And so for me, if I were teaching that class, I might consider doing an inquiry-based learning class, or a flipped classroom, just a different experience that puts more on the student rather on a lecture-based classroom that's pretty traditional. Sorry, I talked a lot.
No, that was fantastic.
I think there are a variety of approaches that can make a class an honors class. And I love Michelle's class being able to have that application of what they're learning into a real life example. In my class, it's a little bit different. You know, my honors class and my other classes are still learning all the same objectives, but in what I found out is the way that we discuss the objectives tends to be a little different with my honors group than it is with my other groups. And I think those students have a different way of approaching new information, which has fostered kind of a different sense of community. And that's one of the benefits of an honors program, is a different learning community that the students are developing.
Yeah, and I think in the student presentation this morning, I think it was Maya who said something about the benefit of being with like-minded people in the class. And I think that's a really important component, because I think for me, one of the things that makes the honors class different is just my assumptions about why they're there, you know, and that, you know, I teach required classes. I always say nobody takes English 1301 or 1302 as an elective. It's always a required class. And you know, I don't begrudge students that attitude either, you know, that this is a required class for them. They're not English majors. They're just trying to get through it, et cetera. So I understand that in a traditional class, they may be more passive. They may be more, you know, just trying to get through the semester. I think in an honors class, my feeling is if you signed up for this, what you're saying is I want to do more somehow. And I don't think it's more work in my class, but it is thinking more, talking more, certainly a lot more discussion. And as the slogan of the program suggests, you know, digging deeper. Because I think if once the program is in place, if we go with the model that we're currently working under, which is that students have to meet certain academic requirements to get into the program, there are some things that you can maybe do more quickly in an honors program, spend less time on some of the sort of fundamental stuff so you can get to some of the more fun stuff, some of the more interesting ideas. But yeah, I mean, I think I just echo what Shelley said. The students in my class do the same amount of work and they have the same learning objectives. It's just how we're approaching it is a little different, and it is more community based. Now that could be because my class was very small this semester, which was probably partly a function of the fact that the honors program was new and that the term may have intimidated some students who were thinking about signing up for that class, and also the fact that it was 7:30 in the morning.
7:30
So
in the
that
morning.
also played a role, I think, in that class.
Some students signed up and didn't even know it was an honors class. So.
But it worked out well because it was a very small class. We rarely had more than 5 or 6 students in there. And so at that point, you can certainly make it, as I did, almost entirely discussion based all semester long. There was very little of me talking while they listen. It was just all of us sitting around talking together. In a 30-person class, that may be more difficult to manage.
Absolutely. Mr. Butler, I know that you are not teaching an honors course this semester, but hopefully soon with your sociology. In talking about fostering community, Shelley, I couldn't help but notice that Michelle and her approach and how she's doing elementary statistics could partner well with an honors sociology class. Have you guys discussed any kind of partnership there with honors courses that kind of closely relate? Is there something in the future that sounds like that would be exciting?
No, but I'm going to write that down.
It's been a part of the conversation in the sense that one of the goals of the honors program is to foster with our students the notion that what we teach is not discrete silos where the knowledge you learn is only applicable there. That what you learn in English 1301 or in statistics is applicable in sociology and chemistry and psychology. Knowledge is not parceled out on reservations. Knowledge is a continuum that stretches across the breadth of human experience. So marrying up these classes and co-teaching statistics and sociology or literature and philosophy or chemistry and one of the other sciences or whatever we want to do with that, a history class would be really wonderful. That makes perfect sense in scope of the mission of the honors program, to help students make connections that we don't ordinarily have time to make in the course of a normal semester. We actually, I think, are obligated in these classes to draw the parallels, draw the connections, and help the students see that they're not engaging in a slice of the world, that it's a gateway to the whole thing.
Something to add to that, one thing that attendees to this presentation might not know are some of the other details of the coming fall honors program. And one of those is an honors seminar. And one thing that we kind of hope that students do is bring together some of those ideas and make their experience more interdisciplinary.
And one thing that I've considered when we eventually get to creating the seminar is bringing in all sorts of, instructors who want to present about something and seeing how it all, ties together, about how a history presentation can bring in biology and chemistry and throw up some statistics as well. So that way that interdisciplinary idea, that connecting all of these dots can be made known to them in, a real way.
Absolutely. Lee, did you have something you wanted to add to that?
Well, I did want to add to that. I was actually going to change the subject, but you're the moderator, so I'll let you go.
Well, you might have seen in my eye that I got curious, and I'm going to go off script a little bit. We gave you guys a plan of kind of what questions we wanted to go over, and now I'm going to throw a curveball to you, because with this being our pilot semester. I'm really curious for those that have taught an honors course, what is something that maybe took you by surprise, something that you were like, oh, I didn't see that coming, or I didn't think of that yet, or hey, I think I might want to change this moving forward, something that maybe helped you grow as a faculty member. And then we do have a couple questions in the chat that we'll get to in a bit.
Well, I'll start and say everything.
Okay.
Literally everything. I mean,
Okay.
the class has been a success. I've been pleased with the class, and I think the students have largely been pleased with it as well. But you know, it is the first time that I've taught that class, and I've tried to talk to students about this. That you know, I'm just trying this stuff out, and I would change lots and lots of things because there are things that worked well and things that didn't work as well. And I would not offer it at 7:30 in the morning. Also, I would probably change that. But I think that you know, I mean, I don't know that I can think of one specific thing, but I think it is important that our students know that, you know, this program is also about us learning, and I'm certainly learning about how to teach an honors class, what an honors class means. And we've talked about it in class specifically. What makes this an honors class? You know, does it feel like an honors class? Because I don't know what an honors class feels like or not. And so I think that having that sort of attitude of, you know, that I always say my favorite semester is next semester, right? Because next semester is going to be great. Next semester is going to be perfect. But I think that having that attitude can wear off on the students as well. You know, that they understand that that learning isn't about getting it right the first time. Learning's about always constantly trying to make it better.
I was surprised by the eagerness of my students. They were really eager to do some more challenging or just some different types of discussions. So that was refreshing. There are definitely lots of things that I will change if we teach chemistry honors course again. Some of those things will change naturally just because our program will be structured differently going forward.
I walked into class the first day and I wrote, you know, math 1342, threw my name up there, and then I wrote honors question mark. And my students were like, well, why'd you put a question mark? And I was like, just like you have no idea what you're getting yourself into, we're in this together. And it was a lot of, you know, trial and error. And because in the beginning, I had a completely different plan of what I thought we would do for our project. And I ended up kind of veering along a different path, mainly because I wanted the students to feel an investment. In the beginning, I was going to have them do like a group project and just so we can collect more data. But I wanted them to do something they were, you know, passionate about, that they would really get more out of than, you know, something that I thought that they would get more out of, if that makes sense. I felt like they were investing in their own education and what they could get out of this course by choosing their own project topic and something they were interested in. There's stuff I would definitely change, and I secretly hope that I could do something like this in a regular statistics class, because I think from the comments from what my student said in the student panel, it seemed like she got a lot out of it. And it's sometimes in such a freshman level course that it's hard for them to see how it all connects. And especially in Mathland, sometimes they can see what it builds to at the end. But and so that was what I really wanted that project to accomplish, was just to see it's not all separate pieces of information. It all works together and can build into kind of this really cool you know, culmination of what we've been working on so far. Because that's sometimes hard to see in one course. And, you know, I'd really like to teach, you know, elementary statistics too, but, you know.
I just want to piggyback on what Michelle just said. I think one of the more interesting things for me has been the things I'll take from the honors class, not just for the next time I teach an honors class, but for the next time I teach just English 1302 in general. There are things that worked really well. And I thought to myself later, there's no reason why I couldn't do that in my regular class. I think I was more willing to try new things because it was this new format.
Yeah.
And that's opened my eyes to things that I can then apply to my other classes as well. I will say one thing I would do differently is maybe not do it during a pandemic, because I think and I'd like our students this semester to hear that, because I feel like I'm still not at my fighting weight. You know what I mean? There's still so many things I can't do in class because of the masks, because of students on Zoom instead of in class, et cetera. And it's all been fine, but I kept thinking, man, if this was just in a regular semester and not at 7:30. Also, the things that we could have done in that class. So I am hoping that as we move, where's some wood, to a more normal environment for our college, that we'll be able to do even better in these classes.
I love that. I think Ryan would agree with me that our students appreciate when the faculty and staff are just really real and vulnerable. So putting that question mark at the end of honors and being open and just saying, I'm not sure what this semester is going to hold, but let's do it together. I think our students really connect with that. College can be a pretty intimidating place, and I can only imagine that an honors course in college could feel rather intimidating when you don't know what to expect. So I'm sure that they appreciate how open you guys have been. We do have quite a few questions that we could move into before we wrap up. Katie, I love your enthusiasm. Katie is interested in what honors courses WC is currently offering and how to get involved and what can it do for their resume.
May I share my screen and show how to search for honors courses? We do not have a designation in the course catalog to just filter out honors courses, but I did figure out how to find them. And for students who are in here, curious to, oh, was that the wrong screen?
Nope, you're on. Right.
Do you see the Coyote Connect?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay. All right. So this is the launch page. And if you go to course catalog, normally I would say I search blank to bring up everything. And on the left-hand side has a filter. And normally I would say go here to search for courses like that. But if you just type in honors, it will pull all the honors sections that we have.
Oh, great.
And then you could filter by fall section. And in this case, it's only showing us the fall. But learning frameworks, composition 1, federal government, college algebra, introduction to philosophy, and intro to psychology will be fall's honors course offerings.
Fabulous. Thank you for showing us that. Currently, Student Services is building the honors program in Coyote Connect as a program. That will allow you to easily pull stuff up and have the designation on your Coyote Connect. So from a student view, that will be a big benefit. Moving on.
But Shantee, right now, students can't sign up for the honors courses themselves. Is that correct?
That is correct. That is correct. They can plan them out. So if we have a student who has submitted an application, then they can go ahead and pick which course or courses they would like to look into taking, and they can plan them and plan their schedule around them. And then that's pretty easy to swap out as we need. Does someone want to talk about the application process?
Was that one of the questions?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so if you go to wc.edu/honors, Shantee, if you would put that link in the chat for them.
Absolutely.
Thank you. There is an application on the website. It's kind of general information that we gather. And then there is a short essay question at the end. I think it's about our mission statement. Am I correct in that, William?
Something like that. Yeah,
Something like that.
It's about basically asking a student to explain their interest in the program.
Okay, yeah. So tell us why you want to be a part of the program, why you feel that you should be. And one thing is that we had a student that came up to us yesterday at the Career and Transfer Fair, and they're like, oh, well, I don't really have, a 3.33 GPA. That's okay. Put that application in anyways. Academic success is not the only guarantee that you will be successful in life. We look for hardworking, motivated students as well. So if you don't quite meet some of those criteria, just apply anyways. It doesn't hurt. And we'll take into consideration anything that you put on that application as well. And when you submit that gets sent, and we'll send you a reply when we get through the application process. Is that enough?
It does, yes, absolutely. That touches on the application. The priority application deadline is May 5th. After that, we will start to form committees to go over those applications, and then students will hear back through their student email. Ryan is our career services guru. Would you like to discuss how honors can translate to resume building?
Absolutely. So it would be a great thing to list on your resume for sure. But one thing that I would tell a student is, one thing, what does it mean to you? And if an employer were to look at it and they asked you about it, how would you respond? So how has it helped you become, how's it impacted your life? How has it changed your perception of the world? How does it make you, more fit for the job you're applying for? So anything you put on your resume, it's important to be able to explain why it's there. And so being a part of the honors program could mean a lot of different things to an employer. And I would focus on what does it mean to you and how would you communicate that and its benefits.
Perfect, wonderful. Peyton in the audience would like to know if you guys feel like having an honors program at Weatherford College will prepare students to move on to a university and be a part of a university honors program as well.
My honest answer is I sure darn hope so.
Yeah. And her.
I think that would, I think one of the goals that the honors program will have will be to, I forget the fancy lingo for it, but have an agreement where if they go through our honors program, that they can go to, say, Tarleton and be a part of their honors program. But that takes into consideration that we've done a lot of communicating with that university and see what their policies and procedures are. And in our research that we have done with just strictly looking at community college honors programs, we are in alignment with what other community colleges are doing. So to me, that bodes well for transferability to a university program.
And our program is a member of the National Collegiate Honors Council.
Yes.
As well, which again is not just about community college programs, but university programs as well. So we're working in the same world is my point.
Oh, I forgot about that. That's a good point.
That connects us nicely, William, to the perks and benefits of joining the Weatherford College Honors Program. Would someone like to discuss what we have listed for those?
I can keep talking.
You're doing a great job.
Michelle, keeping talking.
There are a lot of benefits. I think community is number one benefit. We did try to build some community this semester with a few different the word is
activities.
Thank you. Yep. Activities to bring the honors program together. I think in the fall we're going to have some more. We're going to have smaller class sizes, which they were small already this semester, but anyways, we're going to try to find some sort of honors study lounge for students to commune in, and free printing. And I should have brought up the website with all of our bullets.
Well, next week they're getting a t-shirt.
Yeah, they're getting a t-shirt. That's a
That's not bad.
Good looking t-shirt.
for sure. At least on your transcript and things, there will be an honors designation by the courses that you have passed in the honors program. And if you go through our program and complete all of our tasks, then you will get an honors designation on your transcript, as well as an honors graduate.
And in the spirit of being open with students and letting them know, you know, when we don't have all the answers, we don't have all the answers on this one yet either. We're still trying to figure out what all the benefits may be, and so I think that that there will just be more benefits as we go forward and figure out what kinds of things we can offer for honor students.
Definitely.
I think one thing that would draw me to the honors program is the idea of the seminar. And so the community and the meetings beyond the classroom, because I think that is, you know, that's not a traditional part of a class. And I think that would be something that would interest me. And I'm curious, is there going to be a seminar this fall for the honors program? And can anyone talk about what that might look like? Okay. I
have ideas. That is my summer project.
Yeah, cool.
You work, so stay tuned, I guess I'll say.
I would say one thing I learned in all of my college experiences when it comes to studying is group collaboration. When I would study with a group, I remembered it, the information much longer. It was more meaningful. It led to, you know, random conversations that I would not have had otherwise. And so I see that seminar kind of working in that fashion, and just a more meaningful experience.
Yeah, no, I get that. And I think that's our goal, is to bring in those, you know, students, especially incoming freshmen that have never, you know, done college before, to really give them kind of a home. So that way they know people in their classes. You know, everyone's scared to say hello or whatever. That was never me, but so that way they know people, they see people in their, not just their honors classes, but they're like, oh yeah, you're taking that seminar with me. We also seem to have, you know, college algebra together. Like, let's sit next to each other and do our homework or whatever together, just to build that community. And I'm going to quick answer Delisa's question. She says, when you say seminar, are you speaking about virtual, in-person, or speakers? Like I said, I have a particular vision about what the seminar will look like, but it is planned to be in person. So that just like a weekly meeting to where they get together and do stuff. Student sharing. I like the idea of that. Yeah. So it is unknown at this point exactly what it will look like, but I'm excited about it, and I'm excited to kind of build on all of these ideas that we have done so far.
One benefit we haven't mentioned that I know has been sort of established is there will be some scholarships available specifically for students in the honors program. And so that's another benefit of applying.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
I guess, Katie wants to know if an honors course affects your GPA more or the same amount as a normal course.
It's just a
It's
normal,
the same.
it's the same. Yeah.
Okay.
Same hours credit. Yeah.
But if you complete, you'll get the honors designation.
Yes. That will be different. And it will, your transcript will stand out compared to maybe someone who hasn't taken honors courses.
And
Gotcha.
with the idea of it being more of a challenging course, you know, that might play a factor in your final grade. And so in that sense, it could affect your GPA, but when you're calculating your GPA, all courses are going to work the same.
So Delise wants to know, can a student not be in the honors program, but still take an honors course?
This semester, yes, anyone could take the course. Currently, the model that we are considering using, the students will have to apply and be admitted to the honors program to take an honors course. That may change, but that is the idea that we are carefully considering.
Great, great.
Did I say that in a really political way?
Yeah, you did great with that one.
Good.
Mr. Lee's question carefully ties into the very last question that we had talked about discussing with what an honors program does for Weatherford College. But Mr. Lee took it one step further, and I really liked it from the faculty perspective. Do you think that the honors program can also foster community among the faculty in addition to the students? And what potential impact could that have on the college overall?
Yes.
Gold star question, Mr. Lee.
I will say from personal experience, William Smith, I know where your office is now.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm not sure that that our goal should be more community between faculty members. I feel like I've had too much community this semester.
Oh, Michelle.
But yeah, I mean, I think absolutely. I know I've talked to a lot of the people who are teaching honors classes this semester, and part of it's because of the whole sort of baptism by fire element this semester, and because we've had a lot of committee meetings as well. But yeah, I think that it definitely can build community, because again, we're still learning too, right? I don't just mean we're learning how to teach the classes, but I think I speak for all of the faculty here that when you teach a class, you're learning as well. And so faculty who are teaching honors classes are in the program, you know, and so they're going to have some of the same benefits of community that the students are going to have as well.
Definitely. I know, and like Miss Rothrock, Grace Rothrock, who's going to teach our college algebra in the fall, she went to the student panel this morning, and she came out and she said, I'm so excited to teach my honors course in the fall, because she, you know, heard from these students and got really excited. And so I think that this gives, you know, faculty something to look forward to, that, hey, you know, these students are, you know, somewhat different, maybe not as passive as my regular, you know, college algebra course where they walk in and they all say, I hate math, but that they say, okay, wow, I'm here to take this class. I'm here to learn, and I'm not just here to sit and, you know, get a grade, but I'm here to be excited and to have discussions and to dig deeper into this particular course. And I think that that's something that I would think all faculty would be really excited about, and you know, commune with each other and say, oh, this student's in my honors class, how are they doing in your honors class? Or if you have them in a regular course, you know, do you see them elevating that, you know, English 1301, and they're in my, you know, college algebra honors course. So I think it's a great way for faculty to have a different community.
Wonderful.
All right, so we're at 1:47 now. So I don't see any more questions on here. Great panel, by the way. That was actually really, really informative. That was really cool.
High five,
I learned a lot.
everyone.
Have I? Final thoughts before we conclude?
I have one. Michelle, you mentioned the student who asked about their GPA and applying to the program. I'd just like to say that, you know, your GPA is just a small part of who you are as a student. It tells someone else how someone else thought you did in a class. Our students have real lives, unlike residential college students for the most part. You have events that occur in your life that sometimes knock you down, that sometimes pick you up. And if you think that because you had an event that damaged your GPA, that you can't be a part of this program, don't think that. Apply, because there's more to this than a number.
That's good to know.
because you're still a thinking person. You still have a lot to contribute to the process. And, you know, certainly there are limits. I mean, you know, if you can't be a part of the program, we understand that, but don't sell yourself short. You know,
Definitely.
jump in and engage it.
That
Yeah.
was that was the main thing I was gonna say, was just again, GPA, as Delise says in our chat, that GPA is just a calculation. And as I've thought to myself many a time in graduate school, this grade does not define who I am as a person. You know, as I've, you know, maybe not done as well as I wanted to on an exam or something. It's more about the determination and motivation that you have to be successful, whatever, you know, idea of success means to you.
I'd
Exactly.
encourage
I like that.
any student at Weatherford College, or any student considering attending Weatherford College, who hears about this program and is interested, either apply, go ahead and apply, you know, no matter what your specific educational background is. If you're really interested in the honors program, we'd like you to apply, or at the very least, reach out to any of us on the panel, by which I mean Michelle. Reach out to Michelle, and she will be more than happy to talk to you about it. Now, any of us would be happy to talk to you about the program. But if you're the kind of student who hears this and thinks that's really cool, I want to do that, we probably want you in the program too, you know?
And then I'll walk you to William's office.
Yeah.
And
Put in for that office move.
no.
That's so fun. All right, guys. Well, I think we are about done. So thank you to everybody for being on this panel, and thank you for a great presentation. It was really,
Thank you.
and I learned a lot.
That was fun.
It was fun. I like panels. Panels are fun. All right, guys. Well, enjoy the rest of the conference, and we'll see you later.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.